Hey guys, it's Edwin here, and today I'm going to answer this commonly asked question where people ask, why is it so hard to move on from a narcissist or from an abusive relationship than a normal kind of relationship? Moving on from a narcissist is not actually the easiest thing to do, and it's this dark path filled with spells of fear, despair, shock, helplessness, sadness, powerlessness, and every other kind of negative emotion you can even think of. You've been utterly battered by someone who made your life a living hell, and almost every corner of your life has been affected as they sought to supply their needs. You've been discarded, and now you are even now like trying to piece your life together, but you're still overwhelmed by these negative emotions. And the thing is, recovery from a narcissist or from a narcissistic relationship is not similar than when you're recovering from a normal relationship, because in a normal relationship you may not have much anger and resentment towards your partner, and you might even be coordinating together to during this breakup process, like resolving the divorce process together, or even wishing each other like a happy life after all. In case of an narcissistic relationship, they probably inflicted a huge damage in all aspects of your life, from your physical life, spiritual life, financial life, and even emotional life. And it's a damage you will carry with you, which makes you feel very overwhelmed and powerless and even hopeless. Even though you've physically left the relationship, the actual battle actually is now unfolding in front of you. And this actual battle is how you're going to move on with your life. And the difficulty of your recovery also depends on how the relationship ended, as you may have been discarded when you are this critical stage in life. This critical stage in life is like maybe you didn't have a job, maybe you were expectant, maybe you were sick, so they might leave you in that critical stage of life, which really makes moving on quite hard. So in this video I'm going to share with you some reasons why it may look hard to move on from an abusive relationship, and afterwards I'm going to share with you what to do about it and how to go about it so that you can really move on and thrive. The first reason why it's so hard to move on from a narcissist is the uncertainty over the whole situation. There's just this uncertainty of whether they're actually gone or if the relationship is truly over, because they might have left you, ghosted you, or just given you a prolonged silent treatment, and you're used to them pulling this on and off switch in the relationship to the point where now you think they are just bluffing when they discard you. So when they leave you, you might say, they are just bluffing, they will come back. And most times there is no mutual agreement that the relationship is truly over. Like, they will not offer you this closure as in the case of a normal relationship. You will hardly get any closure talk, which leaves you feeling so confused and not knowing what to do. And even if you get the closure talk, it will be so vague, it will not be conclusive, which will even make you further confused. So you are there just waiting for them to talk to you so that you can discuss like the divorce process, but they may be nowhere to be seen. They may not be receiving your calls. They may just be frustrating you. So there's no mutual agreement on the next steps the relationship will take. It's like being left in the middle of the ocean after the captain, now the narcissist, had disembarked the ship without even letting you know. And so you don't know if you have to wait for the captain or sail back, or even where to sail back to. So this makes it really hard for you to move on because you are unsure of what direction you need to take. Should you wait for them to come back after that silent treatment so that you can finalize these things, or should you wait for this and this? So that uncertainty and no closure makes it really hard to move on. The other reason why it feels so hard to move on is you are not the person you used to be. You are not yourself. The relationship has left a dent in your self-esteem, and you feel like a shell of a person you used to be, of that strong person you used to be. So you feel duped, lied to, you feel like a fool for what you put yourself through. So through their constant verbal abuse and their constant emotionally abusive ways, you further developed negative beliefs about yourself. You feel so unworthy, unlovable, and it's like your life has no value at all. So when you have low self-esteem, you will struggle with coping with life challenges in an effective way. You will not even trust that you can pull this moving on on your own, and that the weight is so much for you to carry. You will see everything as very hard and not as a challenge to someone, because you have low self-esteem, you lack the belief in yourself. And this brings about this resigned feeling and powerlessness when it comes to standing up on your own. And the thing is, the narcissist may have built your self-esteem early on in the relationship, only to wreck it over and over again. It's the reason actually you may feel small after leaving the narcissist. You are just this small person who has lost touch with their internal resources, and everything, even the thought of moving on, is just like an huge unsurmountable task, like very hard. If it was a normal relationship, at times actually a normal relationship will even leave you better than when you join that relationship. But on the other hand, a narcissistic relationship will erode every single spark of inner strength and positive self-image you might have had before being in that relationship, leaving you feeling so weak, so feeble, and just disconnected with your authentic self. And when you're not yourself, you'll not be using all your inner resources to help you overcome the challenges you face when you are moving on with the narcissist. Also, when you're not yourself, you'll even take the blame for what happened in the relationship, and you'll not want to even look further ahead to the life which is out there for you. Like when you're not yourself, you'll not have the eyes to see. You'll just be so much clinging to the past. But if you're yourself, it would be a bit easy, because you would see like, actually I've left something which was abusive, and I really can face this challenge. I can seek the help I need. I can look for the job I need, or I can just do something to help me move on. The third reason is you are experiencing aftershock, and the relationship has left you traumatized. So you are operating life in survival mode. And when you are living in this survival mode, everything in your life feels like a trigger, or is filled with landmines, and so you have to just tread carefully. You are not sure where the next landmine will be. You are also experiencing abuse aftershock, because all those unhealed wounds you've been numbing in the relationship, as well as other wounds you've picked up in the relationship, are now screaming for your attention. Here's the thing: when you're traumatized, the logical part of the brain will not function properly, and the survival brain is the one which takes control. So the logical part of the brain which deals with critical thinking, planning, organization, dims when you've been exposed to constant stress, like when you are now in that narcissistic relationship. This means that you will find it really hard, or logically hard, to see the situation you are in and forge a way forward in life. You may logically understand that the narcissist is not the best one for you, and you've got to move on, but you just feel so powerless and you can't do anything about it. You can't think. I made a video in the past on survival mode, so I'll attach it in the description so that you can understand more. This is why you may have read about narcissism and all those things, and you just know that you are really sure now that they cannot change. But that's not enough for you to give you that push to move on. It's not enough. This is because the root cause of the problem is beyond your logical understanding, and it lacks in the unconscious part of your mind, which is far more powerful than what you can cognitively or what you can rationally do. This is why you may give your all, but you are still struggling, since your subconscious beliefs is more of the powerhouse which holds these deeply rooted beliefs about yourself, like the beliefs of I'm unworthy, or I deserve the abuse. So logic is just being shattered or being clouded by all those traumatic memories and all those unhealed wounds from your past experiences. When you are traumatized, your past is running the show behind the scenes, and you may really find it really hard to move on with life. It's like trying to sail a ship without releasing the anchor. The anchor now are your past experiences and your past hurts, which are anchoring you to the past. Because you may be having these beliefs like you deserve what you're going through, you deserve the abuse, you'll never move on, you don't have the strength to move on, you don't deserve it. So that ship might move for a small distance, but it will still find itself being held back or stuck. So when your logic is overpowered, you will find it really hard to even reply those emails from your divorce lawyer, or even to look for that divorce lawyer, or to even just look for a solicitor, or to just even think about your finances, because you just lack that capacity to use the logical part of your brain. Hope that makes sense. The other common reason why you may find it really hard to move on is just frustration by the narcissist. They may just frustrate the whole process. They may delay the court process, they may delay the divorce process, or just settling for any kind of arrangement with you. They will intentionally make it hard for you to get what you want. They may also as well manipulate the system or corrupt the authorities to work to their advantage. So you may find yourself in a situation where you are not even getting a shilling from the settlement. They may bully you and take all your finances and assets depending on how the system or how transparent the system is. If you're in a corrupt country, a very corrupt country, of course, they'll bully you harder. And they may also threaten to terrorize your life or even make you lose that job, which further makes it really hard for you to move on. You'll be feeling as if they're still controlling your life, even when they're miles away. Because most times you'll find that maybe they're the ones who looked for you, who organized that job for you when you are in that relationship together. So realistically, they make it hard for you to get those things necessary when moving on from the relationship, which makes you want to literally fight for it. So you may get frustrated to the point where you just give up with even trying to move on in life because you feel it's pointless and there is nothing you can do. So the relationship is over, but they may make it look like it's not over. The last reason is isolation and lack of support. You may find yourself in this position where you don't have any support from your friends or family during the whole moving on process. Because when you're in the relationship, you might have unknowingly isolated yourself from your support network so as to preserve the relationship. You felt that your family and your friends were sabotaging your relationship. The narcissist may have also insidiously convinced you that you need to cut off your family and friends so that you can build a relationship together. You may have also developed grudges with friends who advised you to leave the relationship because you are these people want to ruin your marriage. The other thing is the narcissist may have also tarnished your name or smeared your name in the neighborhood, and everyone is now seeing you as this monster who deserves what they are going through. So at the end of the relationship, you may find yourself feeling like a lonely island in the middle of an ocean. You don't have where to run to or places to seek support and refuge. And the thing is, when you lack support, you will find it really hard to move on. When it's like everyone is against you. The truth of the matter is, it's easier to move on when your loved ones in quotes are backing you up. But when they've deserted you, it will not be easy. You'll not even have the money or a place to stay or just someone to talk to, which makes it really hard to move on. So those are the 5 reasons I had for you. I know there are many reasons, but just understand, moving on after living an abusive relationship will look like a tough task, but it's not impossible. It's one of those mountains where once you climb it, you will come out as a better person than even what you were before that relationship. And do not walk this journey alone. There's always help out there which will enable you to see what you're not seeing, or even lessen the burden you're putting yourself through. And the other thing is, don't focus so much on getting support from your friends or your loved ones. It's also okay to seek support from strangers, even strangers like us, or even just another survivor who can just help you through this journey. There's always support out there. Don't focus so much on the support from your loved ones. Even support from anyone else is still support. Another thing is, if you've been trying and trying, but you really feel stuck, you feel that you're not moving on, you are always there and there and there, like you are really in this place where it seems like you can't get out of. Try to change the method, but do not allow yourself to resign to the state of it's impossible to recover from abuse. It's not impossible. It's actually possible. And once you start your healing journey with a better method, or with a method which works, you will regain your logic back. And once you regain your logic back, you'll be able to face life challenges with a clear lens, without those false beliefs about yourself you've developed as a result of past experiences hijacking your thought process. So it may look impossible, but it's not actually impossible. If it looks impossible, change your method, but don't resign. You deserve this better life. Hope you found that informative, guys. Feel free to share and comment. Until next time, have a nice weekend.